Welcome to Double Talk. I'm Michael Mandel, and I have my guest star here.
I'm Teddy Aspen.
I'm giving him the hand. It's Teddy Aspen.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I got lost in the camera there.
It's so good to have you here.
It's been a while since I've been back in the studio. Actually, it's a brand new
studio.
Brand new director. A whole lot of changes. I'm still trying to get used to.
Luckily, we brought alcohol to ease your way through.
Right.
Usually, you've been on with Mark.
Yes.
Probably not that many times.
Quite a few times. Yeah.
Really? Where have I been? Oh, I go away a lot.
Yeah.
Well, you're still expected to do that.
Right. Well, I mean, we're going to go from Double Talk today to Double Vision, appears.
Apparently. So this is the first time you've done the alcohol thing since we've moved to our new location.
That's correct.
We have been tasting either weird things. Okay, just weird things. I'm pretty sure. This is weird enough. You guys have seen our shows when we've done Amaro tastings. I don't think we've tasted these Amaros, but I have them on hand. We will do two, choose the one we like best, compare it, and then in the second half of the show, we will compare it against the one we haven't tasted. So we're going to start with, and Amaro, you know, is like vermouth, except it's more herbal and has some bitter overtones in it. This one is Amaro de Toscana. Those of you who know Spanish or Italian know that it just means it's from Tuscany. And this one is 30% alcohol. You know, people always say, what's in them? And I told you what's in them. Herbs. It's hard to say which herbs because they don't want to tell you. So we're waiting for this to get a little cold.
Yes. Lesson I learned today is that this is supposed to help with your digestive system after a good meal.
Or a bad meal, specifically.
Yeah.
I would do it too. Any kind of. Actually, if you're Italian, I guess you're going to be eating a lot of tomato sauce, and it's going to be acidy. This will help your enzymes, and it's, you know, a digestif.
So for part of the location with us, I'm eating a lot of super hot salsa and chili. This would help kind of with the digestion to it.
Cheers.
Well.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yes,
it's
got a very sweet flavor, yes.
It's sweet, and as you said, after your first taste, there's a little bitter aftertaste.
Yeah, when it travels down your palate, it just, it develops a bitterness to it, and I don't know, just very smooth.
You know, I could drink this all day long, and in Italy, they do. And who can blame them, really? This stuff is really tasty. But you know, I always get upset at Mark when he just says, yeah, I drink that, and he doesn't say what it tastes like. But you can't say that either, what it tastes like. It's got a warm, woodsy?
Yeah, I want to go woodsy on that. I don't know, it's almost like you can usually sometimes taste the barrels that a lot of the spirits are distilled in. You can almost get that feel out of this.
Yeah, there's all sorts of weird herbs like angelica, orris root, lime and lemon peels of exotic fruits that are not exactly, you know, lime and lemon. Okay, we're going to taste this against this, which is called Cardomaro. My wife first had this in a drink in Cleveland, and she said this was great. Cardomaro indicates there's cardamom in it. And also the instruction, this thing here indicates that there's artichoke hearts in it. So you don't have to worry about choking on the choke. Is it, right?
A little extra because he's
Put it between. You might not want a little extra.
He did indeed welcome me. Yeah, here we go. We got our producer here, Chris Solar, with us.
You have a new director today.
Well, that's right. We do. We have Angel of the Morning. He's directing. I don't know if he's union, but neither are we.
Not yet. He's going to kind of crack the whip on us today to make sure.
So I like to do cheers to make sure we're both being poisoned by the same stuff.
Angel, to you taking the helm this afternoon.
Ooh,
thank you very much.
This smells way different. This smells different.
Let's see. Wow.
Yeah, it smells redder.
Yeah.
There's a red flavor.
And a little fruity.
Yeah,
Like
very fruity, very fruity.
Winey, like a thick sweet wine with herbs in it. And this one is only, I said 17% alcohol. This one was 30%.
And not so much a bitter taste as it goes back. It's got almost like a sour.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, the word Amaro means bitter or sour,
Yeah.
so I guess they have to, feel their obligation. It's the bitter sour taste that helps you digest. It's the sweet taste that helps you want to keep drinking it. So we got this, I think, in Albuquerque at one of the Celebrate store. It's a weird little store. So if you want any, call me up. I'll buy you some. We'll try Averna next after the break. Meanwhile, do we have a show to do?
We do indeed. Let's talk about the what's haps going on here in the Mesilla Valley.
What's haps? Well, what's happened with, it's not necessarily the Mesilla Valley, but the El Paso Valley.
Exactly, the borderland.
Did you know that the Pope was here this week?
I have not heard.
I saw it on TV. There was a little bit of it because every TV show started out with their news thing of a half hour of the Pope's visit. All the plans coming, how wonderful people felt when he was here. I mean, I saw somebody on TV who said she caught a glimpse of the Pope going by, and it was the most beautiful thing she's ever seen. Is that a bit of an exaggeration? Is it beautiful? I mean, it's spiritually enlightening, and the beauty you might get spiritually, I would think. Did you, I know you didn't go, because you work for a living, as most people do. What's your take?
My take, well, no, I mean, it's a very historical event, happening here in the area, and, big religious leaders, of course, people are going to make the pilgrimage out there for that, as you said, spiritual enlightenment.
There were a lot of people.
Yes, there were. I mean, that one lady from Las Cruces that watched the whole thing from the Sun Bowl.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I mean, I watched a little bit of it on TV. I mean, I'm not heavily religious.
See a little bit.
I mean, heck, the only reason I think I was Catholic was just because the wine was free. But we going to watching it on TV. I mean, I guess there is a certain enlightenment that you do feel. It's I don't know, almost I don't know how to explain it, being that I'm not
good.
very spiritual
Eloquent?
myself.
Oh, spiritual, yes.
Yeah,
well, maybe it hits you, the fact that first time in 2,000 years, Pope has been in Juarez, which means nobody's Pope has ever been in Juarez because there weren't popes 2,000 years ago.
No, there have been popes 2,000 years ago.
Not 2,000 years ago. That was Jesus himself. Popes came later, I think 600. But yes, it is great. And this Pope is such a committed guy to the uplifting of the masses, of the people. His big spiel, if I can use the word spiel, do you think with the Pope?
Of course, yes.
Because I know it's not Latin, but it's a little Yiddish. Was stop with the drugs, help immigration, do a lot of things that are good. Friday, the Pope said that he is totally for using contraception to keep the Zika virus from giving babies microheads. And that's kind of an interesting term.
Yeah, radical in the eyes of the church, yeah.
Yes, but he's done these things. He's done wonderful things that are trying to move the church forward after, I would say, maybe 1,600 years.
Something like that. Yeah, I can appreciate that. I mean, according to comedian Adam Ferrara, said the whole Catholic philosophy is, if it feels good, stop. I appreciate the change. I mean, it is nice to see that, the church is kind of abandoning the, this is holy and this is the end-all ways of the world, and actually accepting a little bit of science to,
science.
Help progress mankind forward.
Global warming. The Jewish philosophy, if it feels good, feel guilty about it. And that's, I guess that means you don't have to stop.
Right.
You just feel guilty about doing it. And but that's Catholicism too, the
Exactly,
guilt,
yeah.
the mea culpa. It's the only thing I know in Latin, I guess. Because it's the only thing that really matters.
Yes, and I know he was kind of, he went to, when I watched the news, he was at a prison giving a mass.
Which is amazing, because those people are humans too.
Yes,
and
indeed.
that's his crowd, humans. And you got to bring people up and not just put them away. Things like that. He did say something, I say it was about Trump. The producer says he never mentioned Trump, but he did say you should not build walls, you should build bridges. And Trump, of course, is for the big wall, and then Trump not taking crap from anybody, no matter what. I mean, I think the most holy person, except maybe for Dalai Lama, who doesn't act the same as the Pope. I mean, to knock the Pope and say he's going to want a wall around the Vatican when ISIS surrounds it. That's what he said. So we'll see how this works for Trump. Who knows why he does these things, but you think the Republican Party, and I know we don't talk too much politics here.
Well, I'm going to go with the fact that, there's a bunch of people that just have this stereotypical idea that everyone who sneaks across the border are all nefarious and villains. They're all rapists and drug dealers. And I'm certain, yes, those people are coming across too. But then there's a lot of people that are trying to escape all the tyranny
yes.
and the mayhem of what's going on in Mexico. Remember, it was scary to go to Juarez.
Juarez was bad. Juarez
yeah.
was bad, and people were nervous about it. Should I do my Juarez thing about there's a restaurant in Juarez that opened about 7 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. It's called Flor de Nogales, and it's off the Zaragoza exit. You go down south a little bit and turn off on Neptune. You feel like you're in because you are, an industrial area that's either industrial or bombed out. Looks like the set from Mad Max. And it's like the most incredible restaurant. Our first course was barnacles. And, barnacles are really little.
Well, how do you find those in Juarez, though?
You don't find them, they ship them in. I mean, you freeze a barnacle. Barnacles are the least subjective to breaking. I mean, oysters, you can break their shells. A barnacle, God. Anyway, it was great. It was like eating escargot, except really small. I just threw them in my mouth. So it had
like a really garlicky taste?
Yeah. It was very delicate and good. And you put them in your mouth, you can chew off the animal part, which is good. And you better spit out the shell part, and that was good. And the rest of it, they had 24-hour cooked short ribs. Cute little place. Check out Flor de Nogales. If anybody wants to hear more about it, call in, and I will wax eloquently about it. But nevertheless, drug trade, the Pope did something about that. Speaking of law, should we speak about law?
Let's talk about law. Or actually the vacancy of someone who can vote on the law and uphold it.
And speaking of Italian liqueur, Antonin Scalia, as you know, was prominent and died. They didn't expect that, obviously. And now the Republicans immediately said they want to wait until the election. And I guess they're assuming a Republican's going to be elected. Do you think they're assuming that?
They are.
Because they're doing so well in the primaries, and so we'll see what happens with that. But it might not matter if they wait or not. So let the Constitution have its say, which is that the sitting president, guy dies. It's not like you can wait for a whole year. That's my opinion.
Right.
I guess you're not going to disagree.
Well,
Mark wouldn't either, so that's okay.
Yeah. Well, it's hard to do, something called double talk, where we're supposed to take opposing views when I kind of agree with you on a lot of the subjects we bring up.
We can fight with the producer.
Yeah, we could.
At least he wasn't shot by the vice president. That was good. Scalia. We managed to drink our way through the first half of the show, Teddy. It goes really quickly, doesn't it?
It does, and we've got a lot to talk about.
We do. We have a whole show ready for you. We will go through the next part quicker, and we also start off with, I'm guessing you want to go Cardomaro against Averna?
Let's do it.
Anybody have any questions, just go to our website on YouTube, or whatever it is, and write them in. And we will see you as soon as Angel turns the ads on and then turns them off.
Just keep it right here on Las Cruces Channel 98.
Hey, cheers.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Burke, and I have a confession to make. I have a serious crush on my workout. Hip, fun, and always a challenge. Jazzercise is the total package. It's the only workout that I've ever truly loved. Does it show? That's because I'm in the best shape of my life. What a difference Jazzercise makes. When's the last time your workout swept you off your feet? Find a class near you at jazzercise.com.
Celebrate, celebrate, Fiesta Motors. Come Come and see us today and discover why our service is second to none. In business for over 17 years, we have the right car for you. When you buy a vehicle from Fiesta Motors, we do everything possible to ensure your satisfaction. Located at the corner of El Paseo and Main. See you there.
Celebrate Fiesta Motors, where buying a car is always a celebration.
And both of us are back. Teddy is still here. He had something to say about the Cardomaro, which was...
Oh, no, it's just a surprise. While we're sitting here discussing all the topics going on here in town, the ice had melted and mixed in with the Cardomaro, and it just really elevated the sweetness of the taste and kind of...
You liked it a lot better.
Yes, I did.
So you can never tell. That's, yeah. You know, with good wine, or even some moderate wines, you could take your first drink of it and have to wait a little bit for it to actually fill out the taste. This is Averna. This is, as I was telling Teddy before, one of my favorite liqueurs. This 29% Averna is from Sicily. This, by the way, is from this is from the Piedmont. Sicily, you can use this to do a drink called The Last Word and replace a $55 chartreuse with this, which is only about 23. Averna. You're going to wait till the ice cubes
I kind of want to. Yeah, I'll give it a taste now, but I'm going to wait till the. I mean, that was.
We're not going to compare.
That was
He remembers what
yes.
that looks, what that tastes like.
Oh, that's just smooth. That almost tastes like soda, like flat soda. This
Flat
is really
soda.
sweet. Yeah.
Well, for
Wow.
here we go with our guest,
Our guest taster.
our
here,
ghost guest.
Our producer. Chris
Remember,
Salon.
my 3D vision is not so good. You could give some to Angel, but you know, I'm not saying anything.
Yeah. He's busy driving the show.
And we're going to hear off stage. It's soft. It doesn't taste.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, root beer.
Yeah,
Well, it is made out of roots.
Yeah, it is. It's very, very sweet.
But you're
Like
not
I
going to
said.
say it's cough syrup.
No,
Yeah,
they went into the Spanish market.
Okay, are we going to Spanish Market? Yes. We're going to start talking about things that are happening this week. I don't know what happened with the other news. We'll just forget about all that stuff unless we need it for time. Mark and I last year went to film the Spanish Market when it came to Encanto, and it's here this week. And get a free ticket if you want.
Right. Well, I actually have got a lot of plans going on this week.
Okay, well
Yeah.
then you'll just have to make do with this 2 minutes of video. Last year we had 6 minutes.
Oh, yeah?
Here, we'll just cut it down. We could talk over this.
Let's check it out.
And let's hear the Spanish Market. Because there's mariachis and all kinds of stuff.
Look,
Where's the mariachis? So those are weird things.
It's a lot of religious and a lot of folk art.
Funny how the Spanish Market has religious stuff. But yes, this was last year. It's probably going to be the same this year. What is that straw stuff made out of, made into crosses? It's very appropriate. You know, we're doing a very Christian show today. Catholic
We
show.
are.
we have all these icons. The Pope is an icon of something.
Right.
Yes, he's
Oh, that's very pretty right there. They've got those display cases.
a heart, Sacred Heart,
nice
is
pendants,
slightly religious. Sacred Heart, crosses. Did you know the city we live in is called the Three Crosses? Did you know that?
Well, the crosses, yeah.
Did
But,
you
yeah,
know that?
I know it's based off of the story of the three missionaries
People
that
who
were
got
killed,
killed.
and the marker to define where we were their
Three
grave
crosses.
sites of the three crosses.
That's good. I mean, if you just moved to town, we're probably the first place you've heard it. Most of you who are watching the show have been in town for way longer than I have, which would be 25 years at this point. This is symbolic of some kind of culture, you know, the dump truck culture, or the truck culture. This woman was great. We discovered her at the end of the show. There is a little bit of Madonna-ish, and then the sexy Madonna.
Yeah, is that the Venus?
Yeah, Venus de Milo.
Yes.
Arising from the shell. So that's a Greek myth.
Yeah.
Madonna's a myth, right?
Yeah, but art is art. I mean, you know, it's all on your
Yes.
appreciation of it. It's your perspective and how it makes you feel. It's the way you get your enjoyment.
There are many different aspects to assessing art. I saw the movie on Thursday, The Danish Girl. which is about artists, but also about, sexual change.
Yes.
And some of the shots were, they were weird shots of the guy who was about to turn into a woman, but sexy as the woman before he even changed. Anyway, Danish Girl was pretty good, way better than I expected it to be, and not as good as Carol, I think.
Yeah.
Carol was there. So those are up for the Oscars, which are tomorrow, I think.
I believe so.
On Sunday, so don't forget the Oscars. We'll go back to local things. Can we go back to, Robert Garza? Can you get the picture of Robert Garza, who is...
He's stepping down.
He's seating his management hood, so
Yes.
there is room. You want a full-time job?
Oh, God, no, I hate politics and the
Anyway,
whole...
I remember dealing with Garza years ago, and I liked him.
Yeah, no, I've
I
spoken
think
with him a
so.
time or two, and he is great
He's a
company.
nice guy.
Yes,
Yeah.
he is.
And when you think about people who are managing things, everybody complains, everybody calls in and whines about stuff, but he did a pretty good job. In fact, today or yesterday in Sound Off, somebody complained that there are no masculine haircuts. There's nobody where you can walk in and get a haircut in a place that's masculine. And the place that sponsors this show, Gents, which is at the corner of Campo and Las Cruces, we shot a show there a couple of weeks ago. I thought that was, if I were a man, if I were, I would not be offended by that place. It's tough enough. There are no frills. There's not a lot of pink frills. So that's part of Sound Off. People in Sound Off complain all the time. I think it's good to let off steam.
No, I think this guy's just kind of like caught up in the whole idea of you need tattoos and beards and piercings in order to be masculine.
There was a place
There's
like
some-
that.
Well, there are some great places to get haircuts here. They're great
look
barber
like that.
shops.
Yes. And I don't want to say that La Clinica, which is has cut off their acceptance of people with what do we call it to be PC? Mental problems.
yeah.
You don't have mental
Yeah, well,
problems.
psychological issues,
Psychological
yeah.
issues. We all have psychological issues. That's why we have the Sound Off. I mean, you get pissed and stuff. People are mad, and madness is fun. That's why we drink, to keep us from getting too crazy. See, do you like this better with? It gets better and better.
It's very sweet. I'm just amazed by that.
Yeah, for something. So I don't know. We'll jump over the iPhone thing. So we are closing out the session up in Santa Fe, and a few things came through. The fact that we're going to have real IDs, because nobody could get into all the military bases, and pretty soon you won't be able to fly with your driver's license only. So I think that's pretty good. I mean, it's a little bit more complicated, but government is complicated. That's why we have a bunch of people working on government, and it's so complicated that people get mad at different things about it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's the same thing. The Uber bill, as of today, which is yesterday, which has to do with driver's licenses, but if you don't have a driver's license, in many of the towns in New Mexico, probably here, Santa Fe and Albuquerque, Uber, is that an Uber thing? Yeah, I did Uber in LA. Did you ever? You go to LA.
I've been to LA, but I've never Ubered.
Uber is way better than taxis. It's either easily a third of the price. You know where they are. You know where they're going to pick you up. And they give you warnings, and the cars are great. They're really homey. So they didn't do anything to restrict Uber or Lyft in town. Let us, what else? We don't want to talk about that. We'll go to Ken Miyagishima is going to talk Wednesday at 12:15 at the City Council building about state of the city. Miyagishima, how do you pronounce that?
Well, I've had to explain it to us once on an episode.
We did, yeah. We
Double
did
Talk.
it, yes. That's a good one. So things are happening this week. We want to make sure we hit them. The Rio Grande Theater, even though you won't be able to get into the Rio Grande Theater.
Well, not for this show.
Not for
anyways.
Judy Collins. Friends of mine, the Libbies, asked me if I could get them tickets, and I can't. Everybody who's got tickets are not going to call in and say, I want to cancel my seats. What they do is they probably know somebody else who wants them and sells it to them. So Judy Collins, you'd think she'd be in a bigger venue. Don't you think?
I don't know. I mean, she's kind of tragically, I think I'm part of the last of the younger generation that knows who she is. I mean, she did that great rendition of "Send in the Clowns." I remember her on an episode of the Muppet Show one time. Doing a great rendition of "I Know the Lady Who Swallowed a Fly." I mean, yeah, great folk singer, but it's just that it's tragically.
And the Muppet, people forget. But she's got a beautiful voice.
Yes, very beautiful voice. Very, very beautiful person as well. I mean,
she was all for the hippie icons.
Yes,
she was one of them.
It's just tragically music is just taking such a downfall where it's all just.
Hey, look, I like Sia. I like Miley Cyrus. I like Taylor Swift. I hate to see that.
Get out of the room.
I know. I'm in that old man age where Taylor Swift is okay. The theory is that old men like Taylor Swift. She does good songs. Okay, the Bob and Tom comedy tour was going to be next Saturday at the Rio Grande Theater, and I'd never watched it, but I guess you know.
No, actually, they're radio morning show, and they've always promoted. That's right, and they were always promoting a lot of stand-up comedy. And they've a great lineup of comics every year. Definitely worth your money if you like laughing.
They will be at the Rio Grande Theater, Black Box Theater, which we just caught a glimpse of. Tonight is the Iliad, where Algernon DeMassa is doing the Iliad
with Randy Granger,
a two-man show. And tomorrow, matinee, which I think is at 2:30, is Killing Buddha, which is supposed to be great. And we're moving through this. Next week, I am doing I am the MC of a poetry reading on the 27th. I got to look at this. Excuse me. At 1 o'clock. Maybe you should have a digestif.
All right, yes.
It's digestifing you. It's the Love of Art Month poetry reading at the Brannigan Center. I guess that's a picture of the Brannigan. I never saw it from this view. That's 1 to 3. Boba Cafe tonight and tomorrow. Dinner and show. The Gone Girls. You know some people in there.
I do. Krista Fredrickson, who has done a lot of musical theater here in the community. Great voice, along with Jamie Smith, who's, I think, probably one of my favorite local actresses here in town. And another girl who, tragically, I'm sorry, I don't know her name off the top of my head right now.
Those of you who know her.
But yeah, I can assure you it is going to be a wonderful show. It'll be worth whatever you spend on the ticket price.
Yes, and today is National Pet Day, but the 23rd is National Spay Day, so that's a give and take of it. Mm-hmm. And I guess, amazingly, the show went well. Which one would you choose? Or any of them?
I don't know. It's a tough call between these two. This one's super sweet, but I love the way that tasted after the ice melted.
It's good. Well, thank you all for watching our show, and we will see you next week.
Until next time, cheers.
Cheers.
Keep it right here on Channel 98.
Thank you again, Teddy.
Thank you. Oops.